S.Y.D. Share Your Dreams is where I interview business owners and investors who are living in their dreams, doing what they love to do, day in and day out. Please join me to get an insight on their passion. Stay tuned. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Chris. How are you going?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
This interview is called, Share Your Dreams. So it's all about, your business and what you do day in and day out. So let's kick it off. Can you give us a bit of a background on how you started?
Okay. Well, we started back in 2014, January 2014. That's when I put together the business, and I never thought I'd be an electrician. Back in high school, at the end of HSC, I had no idea what I was going to be doing. And just like a lot of people now who are going through the same struggle finishing HSC, they have no idea what sort of career path they're going to be choosing in life. It's a lot of pressure. I was one of them, and I didn't know whether I should go to uni. My whole family went to uni. Am I going to be the only one that didn't go to uni? Do I go into a trade? I don't know. So I spoke to a few people about it, spoke to a careers advisor. I had no sense of direction whatsoever, but I had one of my family friends who was a Sparky, and he worked for a good electrical company, S.W.D, Australia, one of the biggest in Australia, and he was speaking to me about how good it is to be an electrician. And I had no idea what an electrician does. As dumb as it sounds, I feel like a bit of an idiot saying this right now, but I had no idea what an electrician does. So he was saying, look, it's a good idea to get into a trade, especially electrical, one of the better trades out of them. The money's good. You need a good sense of brains to get into it. You're working with your hands, you're always on your feet, just that sort of thing, and give it a go. And I said, what do I have to lose? I'll give it a go, and if I like it, I'll go along with it. I got work experience with a small business. Through them as well? Oh, no, not through S.W.D, with a small business, and he gave me 2 weeks work experience, and really I was just like sweeping up and packing up after the tradies and stuff. But I got a sense of what electrical would be about, and it was okay. Like I didn't have any objections against it. So I said, I'll give it a go. And the guy ended up offering me a position after the 2 weeks work experience. I went along with it, and now it's really funny looking back, because it was just such a random sort of option that now I can say it's my passion. I love it.
And obviously, you're working on the tools, and then you were like studying on the side as well.
So your apprenticeship, you're working. So the first 3 years you're working and going to TAFE at the same time, and then the 4th year you're just working, and then last 6 months you do a capstone test. While I was after I finished with the first business, the small business that I got offered a position, I was working with him for about 5 months. I ended up working for S.W.D. The same company that my family friend was working for, and I finished my apprenticeship with them. So I got a real feel of how it's like in the big world, in the commercial world, and in that sort of sense. And I liked where I was going in the company, and I made a few good friends, and that sort of drove the passion inside of me, because it's sort of who I worked with in the company, the tradesmen that I worked with, that sort of built that fire. And I actually thought after finishing my apprenticeship that I was just going to apply and keep working for S.W.D. I didn't even think to start a business. And
do you remember that point when you thought, okay, yes, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to...
Business?
Yes. Start your own business?
Yes, and it's hilarious because it's just so random as well. It was at the end of my apprenticeship. I think it was around Christmas time. I was just hanging with one of my mates at Macca's at around 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and we're just eating ice cream, talking about life. And he's a Sparky as well. We started our apprenticeship at the same time. I got to know him through TAFE, and he was working for a small business, but he knew he was going to start a business for himself after. And I was working for S.W.D, and I felt secure in the company. I felt like staying with that company is the right way to go. But then he said, man, why don't you start a business? And I go, bro, you know what? I didn't even ever think to start a business. Didn't even take that into consideration. I said, why not? He said, look, start a business and start by subbing out to people, and then build up enough work for yourself, and then go out full time. And I said, look, I'm working for S.W.D, I'm happy where I am, but that's not a bad idea. I'll give it a go, and worst comes to worst, it doesn't work out for me, I'll just apply back at other companies or whatever. And it literally just started from that. And it's funny because it's just a very simple and random conversation, eating ice cream at 11 o'clock on a Friday night, just with one of my mates, and that's where it started from.
No, that's excellent. And obviously you took that jump of faith, and yeah, look at you now. It's all good.
It's when you look back at it, it's funny.
Yeah.
It is funny.
With your company, where do you see it in the next 5 years? Do you have any goals for the business?
Yes, well, it's funny that you asked that, because it was only until very recently I put together a 5-year vision. And it's a bit corny, but I put together a vision board of my personal...
That's good, that's good. It works, you know what I mean? Well, when you actually put your plan and your goals onto paper and you put it into like a visual board, you know, it does wonders.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and it's something new to me, and it's something I feel a bit weird doing it, but I've heard that it works. So let's see what happens. I put it together a few weeks ago, and it was just 5 years. In 5 years' time, where do I want my personal life, and in 5 years' time, where do I want my business life? And it might be a bit vague, but I just put the main parts in now, and I said January 2024, and this is what I want, and just reverse engineer it to how I can start to make it happen from now, and put the right planning process in place. It's a lot of hard work, but it gives it more of a clarity, gives more of a clearer sense of direction, getting to there. And well, 5 years is a long time, and looking back to now, 5 years ago, it was we were just starting out, and back then, if I told myself that I'll be in this position in 5 years, I wouldn't believe it. So it's really, the sky's the limit. I'm excited.
Hard work pays off. It's excellent. It's excellent. Now, knowing what you know now, what would you advise your younger self?
Step into discomfort. That's a big thing, and it's a hard one, because depending on how you've been brought up, or who you've been brought up around, or what your personality is like, your characteristics, whatever. Some people, it's a lot more harder to step into discomfort than others. And with me personally, it is. But the moment you step into discomfort, you're really just scary as shit, and you just sort of hope for the best. But you, with a positive mindset, you will always come out on top, and then you've just leveled up in life. Obviously,
nothing comes easy.
Well, that's right.
So you know, the way I see it as well, you know, a negative can always turn into a positive. You just always have to have that positive mindset.
Well, that's right. And everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in that. So whatever happened to me in the past, whatever happened to me at the start of my starting my business, everything has happened to me for a reason. Everything happens to anyone for a reason, even though I don't know what that reason is at that moment. I may not know what that reason is in 6 months' time after that. Looking back, things just fall into place. Things just, okay, that worked out perfect. That sat in at the right time. The right thing happened at the right time, even though I didn't think it was like that back then. So when I started my business, I just registered the ABN number. I came up with a few names that I put together. I actually put together a notepad on my phone, and any name that would come to mind that I would like my business to be named, I'd write it down, and I'd mix and match and sort of come up with something. So that's how I came up with OzTech Sparks. Set up the names, sort of put together Facebook page, website, those small things, and threw myself out there. Work wasn't coming in. The odd job here and there would come in, but I thought to myself, you know what, I'd gain more experience. Now that I'm actually out there, I have no job, I'll start applying at places, even if it's full-time work, I can build up my business on the side. And I actually got a full-time job at a medium-sized electrical company. They do a lot of commercial and industrial work, and the odd domestic work here and there. And I was with them for 2 months. My probation was for 3. And they said, look mate, your experience is on the same level as one of our 3rd-year apprentices. And that's because of the experience that I've only been limited to at Stowe. Although Stowe was a big company, a big chunk of my apprenticeship was just doing a few of the same things at once. I'm a gun at data, I'm a gun at cable trays, I'm a gun at this, because I did a big chunk of it in Stowe. But a broader amount of electrical wasn't sort of
Yeah.
hit in stone because of the size of the company and the nature of the company.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself when I came out of Stowe, because I felt like I was confident in what I was doing throughout my apprenticeship in the company. I felt confident entering the electrical world, but then I got set back like a slap in the face when the first company I applied for outside of my apprenticeship said, "Look, you're the same level as a third year." It was like a big throwback. I'm like, "Whoa, all right, I don't know how to take this right now. I thought I was like up here, but I'm actually down here." And then I did whatever it took, because it all comes down to different experience. It all comes down to different experience, different things you were exposed to throughout your learning time. And I just, I took it on, and I told myself, look, I can really let this affect me in a negative way or a positive way. And I was just more hungry to learn more about electrical, every part of electrical. So I don't face a situation like that where someone would say to me, "You're not good enough at what you do." And if someone says to you, "You're not good enough at what you do," and you're running a business, it's your confidence level is just stupid. Like, is business really the right thing for me? I'm out there to serve people with electrical. If someone tells you don't know what you're doing, it's a bit out there. So since then, I worked for a few smaller companies, and I've seen a lot of electrical, and then things just fall into place. And I finished up with another company at the right time, and within 2 weeks, I found a subcontracting position, and that was the first time there was actual proper income coming into the business. It was just it's a story from there.
Excellent. Can you share with us like a typical day in your business?
Typical day in the business. It changes every day. Every day, yeah. Well, it's especially in the last 6 months, it's been very different to how it was before that, because
your line of work, do you do residential and commercial work as well?
Yep. So we do service work, real estate work, housing commission work. We do new builds, renovations, existing builds. Right now, we've just put in a quote for 36 units.
Okay.
From construction. We're going to be putting in a quote for 56 factory units, so that's industrial as well. So we're stepping up majorly, but we're covering all aspects. We're covering all areas of electrical, and if there's something that I haven't done before, I'd make sure that I'd learn it. I'd know how to do it before I provide that service to the customer, and can walk away confidently saying that it's done 100%. Every day in the business it differs from day to day. Like, I wake up in the morning, have my coffee, sort of just check my emails from last night or just flicking through my phone. I'm starting to make sure I do my bed every day before I leave the house.
Get something done straight away.
Yeah. So that was a habit that I've picked up recently. I'd start my morning just with an Nescafe at home. And that would be the only coffee that I drink for the day. I used to be big on coffee, but I cut down a lot. And I'd jump into the van or in the ute, and I'd make sure before I start my day, I'd pray every morning. My whole life, I've always started my day with prayer. I finished my day with prayer. And before I get to my first job, I'll make whatever phone calls I need to make, organise what needs to get organised for the day. I might meet the guys at the job, set them all up, then start jumping from job to job. Or I might, that's one day in my life. Another day could be a job might be rolled over from the previous days, and I'll be at home or in the office just sorting out the paperwork, sorting out just other quotes and emails, and just making sure the rest of the week is structured properly and it flows right. So that's sometimes I like to get on the tools. And then some other times when I can't and I have to be in the office sorting out my stuff, then so be it. Just checking up on the guys' work, making sure everything is done.
Now, outside of your business, do you have any hobbies?
Any hobbies outside of my business? I love fishing. Not the greatest at catching fish though, but I do love it. I bought a small boat at the beginning of this year.
Okay.
It's gone out a few times, and I started getting into spearfishing as well, but not the intense stuff.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts in Sydney do you
go fishing?
Fish, yeah.
We go around Cornell, Port Botany, and Port Hacking area.
Okay.
Port Hacking, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think I was there with my dad one time. With the family as well, and then we just went fishing over there. Do you go past the rocks or?
So when we take the boat out, we go out in the heads and suss it out. But really, I've only taken the boat out that way maybe 4 or 5 times this year, and then we just only kept it local around the beaches.
Okay.
We'll jump in the water, have fun, put music on, whatever.
Yeah, so the water's not too rough.
Yeah, that's right. And a few of the people that I take get seasick. It's so annoying. So but it's always a good time. It's always a good time when we're out in the water.
Yeah, no, excellent. Now to wrap it up, can you share a tip that you can share with our audience in relation to electrical work?
Yeah, electrical work. It's a really important thing, and I can't emphasize enough how being price driven on a job shouldn't always be the main focus. Yes. Always suss out who's doing the job, suss out their background, suss out first of all if they're licensed, insured. Always check recommendations, check what people have to say about them, because it's so happens so often that in our industry, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, whatever, you get handymen, whatever, you get people that would just they'll do a cashier, it would be a half-assed job, and the person is always going to be spending more in the long run to fix up stuff-ups that the serviceman should have carried out in the beginning. And I've done so much work after past dodgy electricians and after other handymen doing electrical work. And really, electrical is one of those things you don't want to risk.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's been so many near misses that our team have jumped in between just to sort of save a real hazardous situation. It's scary when you really look at it, and a lot of the times the tenants, the owners, whoever's living in the house, in the building, they don't know about any of that stuff. They don't know what's going on behind the walls. They don't know what's happening in the roof, in the switchboard. They don't know what the other person that's carried out the work has done. They just trust them. And that's the scariest part, because no one knows when something's about to happen. No one knows when an electrical fault might happen, when a potential electrocution might happen, a fire might start. No one knows these things. It's all well and good that you put preventions in place, but you just want to be confident and assured that the right person is doing the job for you. And if it means spending an extra couple of $100 or whatever it is to make sure you have the peace of mind, then so be it, because it will save you in the long run. And most importantly, it's not about the money, it's about the person's safety. That's right. And whoever's living in their household.
No worries. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in today. Thanks, Patrick. And thanks for sharing your experiences and your tip of the day. I'm sure the people out there will make good use out of it.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
See you guys. See you soon. There you go, guys. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.